All right, this topic is solving linear equations with several occurrences of variables, same sign and distribution, something to that effect. And we're just going to basically go along with the same premise that we generally do in algebra, that is getting the letter or the variable all by itself. And generally, the more complex these get, the more they bury those variables in there. But there's definitely strong ways to get the same sort of technique over and over again. All right, so let's start with this problem. 33 equals 4, parentheses u plus 3 minus 7u. So this big topic got its name, got all the many words for its name because we have more than one u that we can see, and the u's are all on one side of the equal sign. And the distribution part comes because of the parentheses. We're going to have to multiply that 4 through the parentheses, and that's called distributive property or distribution. So actually that's the first thing that you want to do. Just like in PEMDAS, you want to get rid of parentheses. Well, we can't just add the u and the 3 together because they are not like terms. The u has a u and the 3 doesn't have a u. So in algebra, to get rid of the parentheses, we do something called distribution, and it means that you take the 4 and you multiply it by each of the things in the parentheses, and then you get to leave the parentheses off. All right, so let's do that as our next step. 33 stays the same, the equal sign stays the same. 4 times u, that's just a 4u. We bring down that plus sign that's inside the parentheses, and now 4 times 3, we're going to write 12 there, and then we finish copying the rest of the problem down. All right, so now our parentheses are gone. The next thing that we want to do is we want to look for terms that are like and combine them if possible. So on the left-hand side of the equal sign, we just have a 33. So we're just going to leave that alone. There's nothing we can do with that at this point. On the right-hand side of the equal sign, we have a couple of u terms. We have a 4u here, and we have, remember the sign goes in front of it, stays with it. We have a negative 7u. So what is 4u minus 7u? And that's going to give us a negative 3u. And then the 12 doesn't have anybody to combine with because there's no other plain old numbers hanging out on that side of the equation, so we just recopy that. All right, so now what we need to do is find out what side the u is on. It's on the right hand side, and we need to start getting rid of those numbers that are next to it. We're going to start with the 12. The 12 is being added, so as normal we're going to undo an addition by subtracting it, and that will cancel out the 12s. What we do to one side of the equation we have to do to the other. 33 take away 12 is going to give us 21. And now on the right hand side of the equation all we have is a negative 3u. Now we need to get rid of the negative 3 so that u will be all by itself. The negative 3 is multiplying with the u, so we're going to undo multiplication by dividing it. And again, notice that I'm dividing by the negative 3 because we need to get rid of the negative sign as well. The negative 3's are going to cancel out, and that will give us a u on that side of the equation. On the other side, we just do the division. What's 21 divided by negative 3? It is negative 7. So there you go. You just try to get rid of the parentheses first by distributing, combine your like terms, and then solve it just like a normal two-step equation. Hopefully at this point here you started to recognize, oh, I know how to do that problem. I've seen that before. So, all right, so let's do another example. All right, so here's a second example. If the first example was just like a refresher that you needed and you want to try this example on your own, totally feel free to do that. That works as well. So here's the problem. Negative 6x plus 2 parentheses x plus 6 close parentheses equals negative 16. Again, if you just needed that first problem as a refresher, hit pause, solve that on your own, hit play, and see if you got the same answer as me. If you want another little walkthrough, we're going to do one more problem after this one, so you can just follow along with this if that makes you feel a little better. Again, same side of the equation, we have a couple of x's going on. We have a set of parentheses, so that means that we're going to have to distribute. So that's the very first step that you want to do. I like to draw the arrows in so that I remember to multiply both things. So now we start copying over and doing our work. So the first is negative 6x. We haven't touched that, so we just copy it. We keep that plus sign there. 2 times x is 2x. Bring down that other plus sign, and 2 times 6 is 12. And we copy the rest over because we haven't touched it. So then on the left-hand side of the equation, notice that once again we have what are called like terms. We have a negative 6x and a positive 2x. So negative 6 plus 2 is going to give us a negative 4x, and then we copy all the rest over exactly as it is because we haven't touched it. And now this is what I call, again, your two-step basic equation that you should feel pretty comfortable solving already. We're going to get rid of the 12 by subtracting it because that's the opposite of addition. copy it over. Negative 16 minus 12 is going to give us a negative 28. We need to get rid of the negative 4. We divide because it is multiplying. And then we have a negative divided by a negative, so our answer is going to be positive. And 28 divided by 4 is 7. Alright, so maybe let's try one more. And this will be the final one that I do. Again, if you have done the other two with me and just kind of walked through them and you want to try this one on your own, that's a great idea. So let's see how you do with it. 5 parentheses x plus 7, I'll make that a little better, minus 7x equals 15. Alright, same as the other two examples. If you have some parentheses with the number out in front, you want to distribute or multiply through. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 7 is 35. Copy over all the rest of it so that we don't forget it. Now we have some like terms to deal with. Remember that negative sign goes with the 7x. They're married together. So 5x take away 7x is going to give us negative 2x. We haven't touched the 35. It has no one to play with on that side, so we just remember to put that back in. Equals 15. Again, here's your basic two-step equation. We're getting rid of the 35 by undoing the addition, so we need to subtract 35 from both sides. When we rewrite, we're going to have 15 minus 35, and that's going to give us a negative 20. And finally, we get rid of the negative 2 by dividing. And then when we rewrite our final answer, a negative divided by a negative is positive, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. All done. So give that a shot. Why don't you go tackle the topic? It is called Solving Linear Equations with Several Occurrences of the Variable on the Same Side with Distribution. Thank you.